start the meeting shortly. Americans who have made the ultimate sacrifice for their country. And for those brave servants.
One nation, under God, indivisible. Out to aid and rescue after September 11th. Generals and the people in Washington. While you're head, did you rejoice for the people who walked from the rubble and sobbed for the ones left below? Did you burst out in pride for the red, white, and blue? Did you go to a church and hold hands with some strangers? Did you stand in line and give your own blood? Raise the, no, not raise the rate.
The Republican nominee for Assembly from San Francisco.
According to Mr. Hoffa, who is going to sit me. This is a short, pitchy speaker. And the person who said what I am about to repeat was much taller than me and spoke this about 140. That when Mr. Everett stopped speaking, there was a hymn, and we do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate that these dead shall not have died in vain. That this nation under God shall find
We're paying them and we're doing the work to stop them. Quite a story here. I have SB 48 for those of you who didn't get to sign it at the last meeting. If anyone has questions on it or a week. In Missouri, they did a poll of 21 states.
Powerful special interest from the moment he arrived in the nation's capital. Along with John.
It's great to be here in Southern California. Thank you so much.
Men who have not been civilized because they do not know fathers. They don't have any man influence in their lives. Nation of our party, and it has not changed.
Sit
All
down.
right. Sit down. I haven't spoken yet.
And it's Hillary. He asked me 2 months later, he said, who's 254,000 homeless in Los Angeles, 20% of that is veterans. So almost, and it's going to be at 5 p.m. is the debate.
Great barrel.
All right.
That's the sort of protected class where the kingdom is, not here. And he did not go out and conquer lands and rule armies and comport with. And when it doesn't, guess what happens? You will always you see people very legitimate.
Invest in LA. They can get the 55 electoral votes. Are you willing to make the investment in the organizations we have here in Los Angeles, from our plaque to the West?
I bet you that you were one of the first to come out with a doable plan on getting people back
across on the LA County seal. There were individuals in this room that contributed thousands of hours in collecting signatures to put it on the ballot. We weren't successful.
Thank the people of California for standing up and standing for marriage. That was a great. I know that was a tough thing. It was liberty and fraternity, but no fatherhood of the brotherhood. To be able to sustain it after it passed the House, and it was blocked. Any circumstances yet, and will not. He ran half of his campaigns successfully in Texas as a Democrat. And I've won a blue state, a tough blue state, twice. We have an opportunity to win with a principled conservative who's actually got this. In the Gallup poll over the last 6 months, whose name recognition of all the candidates running for president, even thinking of running for president.
Anxious about this election. The thing I'm asking is, what is your vision for America to bring
Why? One of the reasons I've done this, and we've sort of climbed in the poll in Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina, little by little. Why? Because I go around and do.
Before anybody asks the next question, by president that can successfully ending a federal entitlement. Anybody want to guess who that person is? The gift of the president and of good leaders in Congress. Look at ever since the television became the dominant media, which is in the mid-1970s. I always remember Barbara Boxer coming with pictures of people in bread lines and all those stamps, food stamps, the highest level ever. Why? Because President Obama is going out and pushing the state. But I was fighting them even before you fought them in California. We didn't always win. Try to get Syria out of Lebanon with sanctions. I happen to believe I'm the best person to win this election. pro-growth platform. But let me tell you about one. It's because big business didn't want to pay labor rates. They'd be happy to pay labor rates if they could be profitable. Frank? And it's called government banking regulations under Obama. You cannot borrow money. And $1.2 trillion is sitting in countries all over the world. So we're at a Boeing plant in Charleston that just started in June that they are trying to shut down. The case with other Republicans in this race, particularly the two who Social Security is an entitlement program.
Yeah, it is.
Medicare is entitled, or by income or by payments or whatever, people are entitled to money from the federal government. All of those programs, okay, you can't know. Why can't you know? It's out here for tomorrow night's debate was to get out and talk to a group of conservatives and encourage you that the work that you're doing here, whether these United States would be the United States. That's what that election was really about. This election is about blow for freedom. Those who fought the tyranny of that day, ordinary Americans, struck a blow for freedom in that abandoned coal mine. As a kid, why he would go and work in these coal fields that he did until he was 72 years old. He mined coal in the deep mines for 30 years. And what your ancestors collectively fought for our country, but individually fought for you. America is different than any other country in the history of the world. I know we have some Tea Partiers here, and I'm glad you're here. I am so glad for the energy and enthusiasm. Obviously very important. But the why of America is in that other document, that 77 years ago. Because prior to that moment in history, in July of 1776, no other country had ever established it. People who are now ridiculed by many folks on the American left. The idea that we could build a great country